Hey Bruins fans, Steve Layman here. It's time for another edition of Corley Quarterly with Athletic Director Scott Corley, sponsored by First Bank. And Scott, we had the honor just a few nights ago to be at the Athletics Hall of Fame induction ceremony for 2022. 6 great inductees, and the 2011 baseball team gets honored as the legendary team here at Belmont.
Yeah, that's always a fun night. It's a special night. It's a great way to remember so many teams and athletes that have contributed to the success of this athletic department over the years. And you know, we spoke to it at the night. I mean, without those individuals and those that team, we wouldn't be where we are today. And so it's always great to hear their reflections, how much Belmont meant to them, and it's always great to bring them back on campus and celebrate them. So it was a very, very special night.
It was cool to sit with Coach Bird there, speaking of a legend, and he had just gotten back from New York City for the Joe Lapchick Award, which, of course, just another honor for Coach Bird and much deserved.
It's a great honor. I was fortunate to be up there with him, and it was a neat room of legendary people. And what makes it special is that award is about character. And who better to embody that than Coach Bird? He did a great job with his speech and tied it into Coach Lapchick's life and his story there. And it was just a fun afternoon and just a well-deserved honor by Coach.
This will come as no surprise to the people watching at home, but one of the things that really struck me about Hall of Fame night was you get all these star athletes from the past to come back, and every single one of them that talked about their experience, yes, they talked about what happened on the court or on the field, but they talked about what made Belmont special and the experience that they had here. One of the things that goes along with that is things like mission trips and the stuff you do in the classroom. I know a bunch of student athletes here had a wonderful experience this summer up in Alaska. That's really neat.
Yeah, we love to still be able to do these sports mission trips. Obviously, COVID took us back from being able to do those consistently, but those were started by Betty Wiseman, I think 26 years ago now. And when I talk to a lot of the athletes that go to that trip and ask them after they've graduated, what was the most impactful thing from Belmont Athletics, inevitably they say that mission trip.
Really cool cause and great experience for them for sure. Of course, now we're into the fall sports season. First year in the Missouri Valley Conference. We had a long winning streak. Finally suffered a defeat. So I guess you're really in the conference now that you've experienced that. We were winning everything right at the beginning. New turf over there, Rose Park, for the soccer programs. Men's team's off to a great start. Women's team off to a great start.
It's unbelievable. Really proud of what that team's been able to accomplish. Getting the soccer turf was a huge investment by the university to really help that program continue to invest in the facilities out there. And David Costa's done an amazing job with the men's soccer program. Really like the way they're playing. They play with such good confidence. They've had a couple nail biters here, but they're continuing to find a way to get points, which is important. They've got some tough matches ahead, as do women's soccer and volleyball. Volleyball, 3-game win streak in conference. Really good to see. I think they're starting to get healthy, play well together. They've also got a tough road trip coming up, so we'll see where we do stack up there. But really proud of the start to the conference play.
Cross country coming up with one of the first Missouri Valley Conference championships at the end of the season. How do you think the cross country teams stack up so far?
I like the way they're performing. And talking to Coach Langdon, they had a really good meet against some high-level competition over in Arkansas this past weekend. They're rounding into form. I mean, you know, they've got one more meet before the conference championship. And so, obviously, they're training to hit their peak in 4 weeks. And I see no reason why we shouldn't be in the top 3 on both the men or the women's side.
We all knew in this new era of college athletics where you've got name, image, and likeness, and the transfer portal is essentially open season for athletes. But how much has the environment changed? And I know a huge partnership has opened up here with Influencer. What does that mean for the future here of Belmont Athletics and your student athletes?
Yeah, obviously NIL is here. It's not going anywhere. I think our approach is we want to embrace it as best we can to help educate our student athletes on what that really means. Influencer is one of the industry leaders in providing the software technology to make sure our athletes can connect with businesses or people that want to reach out and work together. And so right now I would say we're still in the educational phase of NIL, and a lot of our student athletes, to really take advantage of NIL, you got to put in the work. You got to put in the work. We had Jim Cavall, the CEO of Influencer, talk to some of our student athletes and teams yesterday, and that was his message. It's like, Belmont can build a nice weight room, but you, the athlete, got to get there and lift the weights. And so what we've been able to provide is the platform. Now it's up to them to put in the time and effort, and let's be honest, it's not for everyone. They're busy with their athletic endeavors and being good in the classroom. But for those that want to take advantage of it, we're here to help with that platform.
It's definitely a new world, and everybody's navigating it really for the first time. It'll be interesting to see how college athletics unfolds in that regard. As we talk about the broad range of being a student athlete at Belmont, there's several things that you guys always work on. Mentorship program, academic champions, once again, academic stuff off, and then the athletics excellence initiative. Sorry, easy for me to say. Just talk about the three of those things and how they all kind of come together to form the student athlete experience here.
I mean, what's great for me is I inherited an amazing culture where academics is valued, and it's just something that's, we don't want to ever take for granted, but the way our coaches recruit and the way our student athletes approach their experience here at Belmont, they want to get the whole experience, and they put in the effort in the classroom, and it's evident by the continued recognition through the conference academic awards, the individual academic All-American awards, things like that. And so we're extremely proud and always want to lead with that in a lot of ways how we represent Belmont Athletics in the university. And so that's extremely important. I'm really excited about the athletic mentoring program. That's something that I brought the idea to, and John Langdon, who works with our students on this, has really taken it and grown it. We've got over 40 juniors and seniors that are part of this program where we assign a mentor to them, and it could be a Belmont alum, it could be a Belmont student athlete, or it could be just someone in the Nashville, whether it's business community, law community, whatever. We try to align them with what that student athlete's interests are, and then we ask them to really just kind of meet monthly over coffee. And it could be a networking opportunity, it could be a mentorship opportunity, it could help with internships, et cetera. And so to see that program grow, because really that's, at the end of the day, we want to make sure, and me selfishly, I want all our amazing student athletes to stay in Nashville, and the more I can help get them connected with people in this community and find opportunities for them after their playing days are done, I think that's a real value add that we can share with parents and recruits as well when we're in that process. And then lastly, the Athletics Excellence Initiative has just been exciting to see the donor support. As we were looking at the move to the Missouri Valley, we knew there were going to be increased travel costs, the student athlete experience we needed to invest in more, and to have some donors that really value what we're doing and understand our move to the Missouri Valley. We're at the point we've raised almost $7 million to help transition that, and that is by far the most money we've ever raised in athletics in a single year. So that makes, obviously, it reassures myself and the president and the board that we made the right decision to make that move to the Valley, and to have donor support really helps me feel we're going to be successful in this move.
And it continues to help with all the funding and resources for all those things on and off the playing surface, whatever that may be. Lastly, people getting excited for what's going to come on the hardwood this winter, and feels real now. I know it came a little later than we were expected, but we finally got the schedules for men's and women's basketball, and when you look at it, it's amazing to see week in and week out the competition. And you mentioned the road trips earlier, going on the road in the Valley and dealing with those environments. A lot of excitement ahead for Casey and Bart's teams.
Really is. It's good to get the schedule out. It's good for our fans to start planning, and hopefully you guys will come out and support even on the road, because there are some great venues. There's going to be great atmospheres. The days of kind of going on the road and playing in front of 1,000 people are over. And so that's going to be a learning experience. Obviously, Casey's got a young team, and they're going to figure, they're going to learn as they go through. And I really like their non-conference schedule. I think it gives them a good mix of some, teams that have been in the tournament and teams that are predicted to go to the tournament. Bart, he's never shy to play anybody, and you can look at his non-conference schedule, and I'm really excited to see what they do with that experience and what they've got coming back. And I just, to think it's less than 5 weeks away is really hard to believe, but also very, very exciting to know. And we need all the Belmont fans out there to please get your season tickets. Please, we need the support, because I think you're going to see the level of basketball throughout, to your point, is just going to be at a higher level. I think there's going to be much more competitive type games, and we need that home crowd when we're in the curve to get us through that.
And men's basketball will tip it off first this year, November 7th, Monday night, inside the Curb Center. Rematch game against Ohio from that opener from last year. Should be a lot of fun, because the Bobcats are always good as well. Scott, this was a lot of fun. Look forward to the rest of the fall season. Basketball right around the corner.
It's an exciting time. Thanks, Steve.
Belmont Athletics Director Scott Corley. This has been Corley Quarterly, sponsored by First Bank.